being as young as 5 years old and listening to the first song I ever heard by Whitney Houston, Shoot. I can also remember being 5 years old and being so close to the television, my mother would warn me I would go blind. But I didn't take heed to her caveat watching The Bodyguard, a movie Whitney Houston starred in with Kevin Costner. I can also remember being 5 years old and pretending that I was Whitney Houston, although I didn't have the talent and couldn't sing as she could. Unfortunately, I can also remember the not-so-good things, like hearing interviews by Wendy Williams with allegations and rumors accusing Whitney of drug addiction. Whitney Houston was born August the 9th, 1963, in Newark, New Jersey, according to True Bio. Whitney Houston was born to be a star. She was the daughter of blues singer C.C. Houston and the goddaughter of Aretha Franklin. Whitney Houston would sing in church on the choir, and that is when she first discovered her passion for singing. Whitney Houston would sing at her mother's nightclub, and that's when she was discovered. But at such a delicate young age, her mother didn't want her to sign. Instead, Whitney Houston began to model. But a talent like that couldn't be hidden for long. At 22, Whitney released her first album. Whitney has won several awards, and to name them all wouldn't be fair because I would surely leave out at least 100. Among those awards are Grammy, the NAACP Image Award, and MTV Music Awards. Whitney was truly a star and a legend. Unfortunately, she married Bobby Brown, and that is when her career fumbled. But she was given a gift. In 2003, she gave birth to Bobby Christina. In 2005, she divorced Bobby Brown. I also can remember interviews. She did an interview by famous Oprah Winfrey, who dug to bring out the good in Whitney Houston. Unfortunately, she also did another interview with Diane Sawyer, who just wanted to know everything. She poked and she prodded. During this interview, Sawyer asked Whitney Houston what was her biggest devil amongst drugs, alcohol, and other addictions. And Whitney simply replied, "I am my biggest devil." Despite anything that anyone has ever said about Whitney, what they cannot deny is she was one of America's most wonderful talents. During this entire situation, Whitney never failed to include God in her life. In fact, one of her bodyguards mentioned that if you opened Whitney Houston's Bible, the pages were torn because she used it so much. Almost every verse in her Bible was highlighted, and words and notes were marked on the side of the pages of her Bible. Whitney was indeed a child of God, and she always prayed before every show. Sadly, Whitney Houston started missing shows, and more allegations of drug use came to play. But Whitney Houston denied any crack or any other hardcore drugs. Sadly, on February 11th, 2012, Whitney Houston passed. Sometimes you'll laugh and sometimes you'll cry. Life never tells you the whens and whys. Was the first song I ever heard by Whitney. And I can remember where I was when Whitney died and what I was doing and how sad I was. But what I will also remember is every song Whitney Houston sung and every movie she played in, and that she was indeed a star. And I thank her for being so peaceful when the world was rising up against her. Now, I'm glad Whitney Houston was my idol, and she will forever be my idol. I will always look up to her regardless of any circumstances or what anyone said about her. And I'm very happy to say that I got to live and see a legend in my decade, in my generation. She will always be the queen of pop, and she will always be my favorite singer. Thank you so much. Whitney Houston, we love you.